So today on the Dream Team Live, I have my very good friend George Wu, who is a beautiful dress designer, as you can see, some gorgeous gowns behind you. I wanted to chat to you because I was really interested in finding out what you guys are doing at the moment. I know obviously with the restrictions, it must be very difficult to physically see brides. So yeah, just tell us what's been going on.
Oh, well, since the wedding has all been postponed, we has just been putting ourselves in hibernation mode. And during this time, I thought it's probably best time for us to go into the stage of experimenting and education. So what I've been working with my staff is to up their skills further, because we have been busy working on clients' wedding gowns, but we never really had time to sit down and think, okay, how we're going to take our skill to the next level. So we've been using this time to do more structural experimentation for the dresses. So when you put our dresses on, you will feel like your bust is really well supported. Your core of your torso is also really supported and your waist really cinched in. But yet the whole look still look really kind of barely there kind of look. And that's something we've been playing for a while, but I thought this is perfect time just to sit and, like most people, sitting at home reading a book, and you really learn something from that.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that this time kind of allows us to kind of settle down a bit and then discover who we are and what we're good at.
Yeah, it's so great that you are using this time really, really wisely. So after all this, you'll have, a better product.
Yeah.
So which is great. And we were chatting earlier this week, and you mentioned something about, because last week we spoke to Geraldine about how the international travel bans are really going to be affecting the flower markets and world, definitely for Australia at the moment. And you mentioned that's the same, I guess, for sourcing fabrics overseas. So what's just your situation with that?
Well, before the pandemic hits, we find that everything we do is starting to go into a digital age. So back in the past, where we have to travel to Sydney or overseas to see high-end fabric agents, but now we can do everything online and order it through email and pay everything over the internet as well. So digital age does make sourcing much easier. And because of this pandemic time comes down, a lot of factories, for example, in Italy and France has been shut. But luckily, most of these fabric mills are actually not inside Paris. So they are like maybe 1 hour outside of Paris. So that's where a lot of French laces are made. Because they're from little towns, so the pandemic didn't really hurt them so much. So during this time, we are finding that our fabric sourcing is still okay. The only thing we need to overcome is the international freight problem. As you know, a lot of freight that come into Australia actually put on warehouse to quarantine for more than 2 weeks. So there's just that delay of the stock coming into Australia when we order laces from France and Italy. But it's okay. At the same time, all the weddings are postponed anyway. So when fabric sort of held up in the quarantine, it doesn't really affect us. But sourcing new fabric for clients could be a problem because the fabric mills aren't putting energy and money into developing something new. So I think consider 2020 is a year where everything puts on hold creatively. So I think everyone will experience that. No longer will we see, the latest fabric design coming onto the market used by people like Gucci or Chanel. And these brands are also adapting that. Gucci are also announcing they might not showing their next season, or they are no longer doing 4 seasons a year now. So I find sourcing is not a problem for us to get the supply we need. We just probably may not have more access to new products. That's all.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, as you said, yeah, this year is the year of the pause. So how are you working with your couples? Like, is there a new lead time? When are you physically able to see them, for fittings and whatnot?
Yeah. Because of this pandemic time, we really have to put our staff, their health and safety as number one. So at the moment, for every bride who is coming through, we have to tell them the few safety measures we have to follow. Things like taking your body temperature. Once you enter the studio, you have to get your hands sanitized. And I will be wearing a mask as well. And we're also limiting brides to only bring +1 to the very first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 2 other meeting will depend what the circumstances are. Maybe we can allow them to also bring +1, but we're really trying to limit to just the bride themselves. And that's just the new normal now. And working with existing clients, we only see bride exclusively. They're no longer allowed to bring bridesmaid or their mum to do fitting with them. Unfortunately, that's how it is. We're just trying to avoid as much contact with people as possible.
Yeah.
And the new lead time, because everything's gonna take a little bit longer, I can only see 1 people or maybe only see 2 people per day, because every time they come and they leave, we have to kind of spray the room a bit. So we can't fit 5 appointments in a day. That's crazy, because the room will smell really, really clean, chemically clean. So because we can only see 2 brides per day, so therefore the lead time now is going to be a little bit longer. So traditionally, I tell brides maybe give us 6 months. So we sort of thinking maybe 8 months lead time would be good. Just so in case something happens, like fabric delay because of the international courier system, all those extra time just help us to ease the stress a bit.
Yeah, well, that's great advice. Yeah, with lead time, especially those that are planning their weddings for next year.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, if, what are you telling your brides that are kind of sitting at home, they want us to get started with their planning and their dress? Is there anything, can they be looking for inspiration that will help you when they come to their first appointment?
Yes, and I find when it comes to the first appointments, I think it's best to kind of see us as a design friend. So come with your idea. And if you don't, that's okay. Just tell us the feeling you want to portray on the day. So I think during this time, sitting at home, it's probably best for brides to really have a collage of images of what draws them and why those designs attracts them. And so when we meet up, I can take everything in and understand where they're going to get married and really paint that picture cohesively and make sure everything works together. I mean, you wouldn't really want to suggest to a bride who always love a ball gown kind of look, but the wedding is held on the beach. Then that's where our job comes in. We have to tell them, maybe don't go that way, because you're going to pick up all the sand and a little twig inside your skirt. It's going to ruin your day or experience. So I think the more information the bride can bring us the very first meeting, the better it will be. Yeah.
That's great advice. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you luck for the future. And I can't wait to see these new ways of working, new ways of designing, I guess, with your gowns for 2021.
Yes, looking forward to it. Yeah, and I hope to catch you in real person soon too.
Yes, no, absolutely. I can't wait for that. So thanks again, George, for joining us.
No worry.
We'll see you real soon.
Okay, see you then.